I
There
sage
we
every
go.
day.
We're live.
Yay. Hello.
Hello. And Annie Bear is greeting us with her
Yes,
sage.
yep. Bring a little sage for us all.
And I'm Nancy Jean, and you're in my garden, and so is Annie Bear. And I'm hoping that everyone will get to know Annie Bear. Annie Bear does a lot of different things. Um, you're from an indigenous background.
Yes. Yes, I'm from 4 tribes here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm from the Saxuatl, the Swinomish, the Nisqually, and the Puyallup
Okay.
on the
All of which
matriarch
are
side.
words, if I saw those on a piece of paper, I'd go, how do you say that? It's my limited Irish background with names.
Oh, and I'm also Irish.
Yeah, well, a lot of Irish made it into the frontier, and
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of crossover between the um, when you go into my past lives, I have been a reader, a seer, a whatever, whatever, whatever,
Yeah.
back, and it's all the way through Vikings and the Celtic,
Oh,
and I
that's
find there's a
wonderful.
lot of similarities
So
between
much.
when I
Yes.
read about things in the indigenous culture and ours.
There
They
is.
they
I've
recognized you when you were little. They raised you up to be who you are. You know,
In
so.
those days, they did. I've talked to holy people in Hawaii and
Hmm.
in Celtic ways, and I was so heartened to find, like you said, that many of our ceremonies take place at the same time of year and are done in very similar ways. The indigenous people the world over
Well,
recognize.
why would Gaia go and recreate another set of ceremonies? She came up with the ceremonies, and what we called them just depended on what plot of land you ended up on.
It's amazing, isn't it? How we
Hmm.
each carry that energy all over the world. And
Hmm.
there's unity in that. There's a great unity in that, based on respect and love for mother, as it should be.
And it should be.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get going here with the
Okay.
questions. We've got 19 people in the chat. Um, and I'm just going to go through my 20 questions, and then we'll talk a
Okay.
little bit at the end if we want to.
Okay.
When did you first realize you might have psychic abilities?
This would be in my probably in my 30s. It was an accumulation of experiences that had happened. I was in training at the time, and I was seeing spirit animals that people around me were not seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, there was one incident in particular when I confronted a person and found myself standing within a very large bear.
Oh.
And I was within the very large bear. And that was as real as the hand in front of my
Mm-hmm.
face. So, and I was in my 30s.
Okay. And then was there a single aha moment, or did it, you basically said it gradually built over time? Is there an aha moment that put you over and said, I've got to work with this? I don't have any choice.
Well, it was that moment of confrontation and finding myself. I had eaten a feather for protection. And don't ask me why. I just knew that that's what I needed to do. And this is for entertainment purposes only.
Don't eat
And
feathers.
don't eat feathers. So, and then standing within that bear, I was cutting a contract and I was saying, no more. What you're doing is wrong. No more.
Mm-hmm.
And so from then on, I've had this conversation with Creator saying, I would like you to please help me be a good person. I want to be a good medicine woman. I didn't really know what that was. And please talk to me through animals.
Okay. So
So
you work a lot with critters.
I did. I looked for them for messages and asked them directly for help and messages. When my husband asked me to marry him, for instance, I went to nature and
Mm-hmm.
I sat in my car and I said, if I think this is the right decision, he's so handsome. I just want to make sure I'm making the right decision for my son and for myself. Could 7 crows please come to the tree in front of me if this is the right decision? And 7 crows came to that tree right
Very
there.
good.
So I was like, okay, thank you, Creator, because I just want to make sure that I was doing the right thing.
Crows and ravens are very important in
Yeah, they
the
are.
Celtic tradition I came from.
Yeah.
I had a woman who did a reading for me, and she said, I can't figure this out, but I kept getting these ravens. And I said, oh, they're one of my
Ooh,
spirit animals.
yeah.
You know, but most of my spirit animals are night. I don't get inside bears. I have like dragonflies and
Oh,
butterflies.
yeah. Yay.
I get the pretty little fluttery ones.
Yeah. Beautiful ones.
Did you notice any when you look back, once you realized what your skills were, did you recognize experiences you had as a child that could have relate to where you
Yes, there's one in particular that really stands out. My Aunt Judy was, excuse me, my Aunt Joyce was a super sweet, kind woman. And she took me to a ballet. I was maybe 5.
Mhm.
And I have a dual memory of that experience. In one hand, it was a beautiful ballet, and my breath was taken away by the beauty and grace of it all, and the music and everything, and the experience. I have a dual memory at the same time of being in an auditorium with other children my age, and we are being taught on a very large surface about the um, universes, and that
Mhm.
we're in the Milky Way universe, and we're being shown all of these universes. And
Mhm.
to this day, I have that dual memory of that time. And I
So
was
it
5.
transcended you outside of your body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a fun one. That's a fun one when you get to go see the whole universe. That's I've done that a couple
Yes.
times and I was like, "Oh, I'm here."
You
Okay.
never forget it, huh? You never
No,
forget
and
it.
if you can, for those of you who might be interested, what happens is you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're looking out at the universe and you're seeing the whole universe. And not only are you seeing the whole universe, you can hear it sing. You know how they say the stars sing? You can hear that. There's a tone behind it. And then when I was sitting there, I'm going, this is really cool. And then I realized I was as little as the smallest atom you could find in this whole mess. And I was as big as a
Yeah.
major universe, that none of our energies are outside of the whole universe. And and I've never felt alone again. Before that experience, I'd always felt I had a big fear of being alone.
Yeah.
And and from being there and realizing that we're all connected and we are all one thing, that I've never was alone. And that was just my ego getting between me and understanding the nature of the universe.
It's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Thank
Well, thank you for bringing it up for me.
you.
I've never had another person tell me they went to the edge of the universe, by the way. So, how did the people around you react when you shared your experiences?
well, well, uh, not great. Usually not great at all. Usually, uh, there was a like, oh, you must be something special about that one. She's weird.
Mhm. They have pills for that.
It wasn't encouraged, let's say that. So I knew that this journey would be a singular one. And I read an enormous amount of books. I
Mhm,
dove into, and at the time I could read through a large book in a day and just
mhm,
devoured knowledge that I could find, anything I could find so I could explore. Yeah. And I asked Creator, I said, this will be a conversation between you and me, Creator. And I will ask you questions and I'll tell you what I think I figured out. Because I have this wish that great spirits in every living thing. And so I have this deep, deep, abiding love for Creator saying, I saw you. I saw you in that person. I saw you in that
mhm,
event. I saw you in that picture, in that
mhm,
flower, in that animal. And it's sort of a hide and seek, sort of a spiritual hide and seek kind of game. And the
mhm.
more you play it, the better you get at it.
Right. Because,
Yeah.
they want to test you too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Did you seek training
I
besides the
did.
books and all the reading? What was your
I
training?
did. I went to my dad and I told him that I want to be a good medicine woman. I had read enormous amount of books by Andrews. I'm trying to think of her first name. Lynn Andrews and Carlos Castaneda and Barbara Marciniak and Barbara Handclough, for example, and Taisha Ablar later.
Mhm,
And so I went to my dad and I said, I want to be a good medicine woman. Who in the tribe should I go to? And he told me of a person he thought I should go to. And he did not know that that person was not a good person. So
Mhm.
I was an apprentice for that person for about a year, um, until I broke it off and said, no more, what you're doing is wrong. And then I went and told my dad. And it
That's
was really,
important. That is this the eating feathers conversation?
yes, it was. And then I went to my dad's. After that event, I called my dad and I said, told him what happened, told him what I'd
Mhm.
done. And I went to his house, which was like 2.5 hours away. And I took a crystal with me.
Mhm.
And it got very, very hot. And I just kept holding it because I wanted to gather up all the energy and cleanse it and release it. And then I thought that a medicine helped me because that's what medicines do. They take pity on us. They're not a
Mhm.
source of pride. They are taking pity on us and helping
That's
us.
right.
And so a mountain lion greeted me on the mountain pass just as it was getting light out when I was driving back home. And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, then thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me do that because it was a very intense time.
But one of the things is you have to try. And the fact something didn't work out, I know that the people I learned the most from about
Mhm.
how to be a boss and how to run people and how to supervise, the best people from my training were the worst at doing it. You sit there and you go, why would you do that? And
Yeah.
and so yeah. So
I believe
sometimes
that. Yeah, all people teach us either how to be or how not to be.
that's right.
Yeah.
And
Yep. And they make you very clear on who you are and your choices and
right.
that you are responsible for your actions. And when you know that, you become much more, it's like protecting your energy like it's your job.
Hmm. Well, protecting your energy is your job. In a
Yep.
way. Are there any specific tools that have became part of your practice early on?
Yes, pendulum. A
Oh,
pendulum. Here's one that I have. Um, I experiment with it. I hold it like this so I know that I'm not making it move a certain way. And
mm-hmm.
I asked Creator, could I please have one in my throat? So can I feel the shroom, shroom, shroom in my throat to the right or the left? Or, so I would know
Mm-hmm.
yes or no, so that when I'm in public situations and I need an answer
You
about a
don't have to
person's,
pull it out and whack them in the head with it.
yeah, exactly. So that I can just go to that inner guidance and go, Creator, is this a good
Mm-hmm.
idea for me? Is this part of my path? And then wait to see what I feel and go, okay, thank you. So that was a very important tool that I used extensively.
So you're still using those tools now. What have you grown? And what other tools have you grown into or tried?
Crystals, mainly for protection.
Mm-hmm.
I really like tourmaline.
Oh yeah,
I love obsidian, snowflake obsidian, golden sheen, rainbow obsidian. All of them. I like selenite. I like clear
obsidian
quartz.
would make sense with the tribal areas you come from.
I'm
That's
sorry.
the tribal areas you come from are big for obsidian. The ground there is full of it.
Yeah, obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
It's my husband and I went somewhere. He's from Minnesota, and we drove in Minnesota. Oh my goodness, I did a painting of this. There was a place we drove through that the walls were obsidian. It
Mm-hmm.
was the natural. Oh, it was so gorgeous, Nancy. You would have loved it. It was so beautiful with
Maybe I would.
water and plants.
People tell me that oh, you'd love this crystal shop I go to. I shop the little crystal shop I go in. I know how long I'm going to have to get in there and get out and exactly what I'm going to need to be looking for. I don't know exactly the name of the crystal, but I always find what I want.
Yeah.
But they all talk to me. So
Oh,
it's like
wow. That's a lot. Oh
that's a
my
lot.
goodness. That's a
Big
lot.
walls of obsidian or
Oh, maybe you wouldn't like it so much
well,
then.
I keep this on my desk and this is a rainbow obsidian.
Oh, I love that. That's
When you take
beautiful.
If you take this out in the sun,
Yeah.
folks, you
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
rainbows in it.
Yes.
And I used to keep it on my reading table. And when I got a reading that I thought was pulling me out of where I needed to be, I'd put my
Yeah.
hand on this and you just feel your energy back
Yep.
in.
Yep.
I
That,
used to do that with people at my table. I had my quartz aspiring wand
yeah.
and I had this on the table. And I'd say,
Oh,
okay,
perfect.
put your hand on the
Yeah.
black stone. And they'd go, and tell me how you feel. And they go, God, I feel like I'm here. I said, okay,
Yeah.
let go of the hand, brush your hands together, grab onto this one, where do you go? And then they go shooting out. You can actually see the energy moving out.
Oh my goodness.
And I'd say, how do you
Beautiful.
feel? And they were like, because I'd say, why do you want all these crystals around you? And I said, so I can stay or go as I want.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
Did you have other mentors or teachers beyond the guy that you had to go eat a feather to get rid of?
um, mostly books, and I did join Moon Lodge, and I did go to Sweat Lodge quite often with an older couple who I still am in contact with and love them dearly. They're quite aged now, and I'm getting older too, so we haven't done Sweat Lodge for some time. But I really enjoyed those times of going regularly to Sweat Lodge, and that's a place to talk to Creator.
Mm-hmm.
I also did private practice. A lot of what I did was private and alone. Like if you're a
Mm-hmm.
woman who's menstruating, I would dig a small hole in the earth and sit there and give your
Mm-hmm.
blood to Mother
Mm-hmm.
and be in communion with Mother and talk to her of everything that is in your heart. And I have a strong belief that there are not just one inner child, but there are many inner children,
Mm-hmm.
and of all ages within us, up to elder.
Mm-hmm.
So I pictured this. If I'm having a problem, I don't know that this is answering your question. I'm sorry.
No, it's what
Okay.
you're going to say.
Okay. But you can picture them if you're having something troubling you, or you're having a resentment or an anger at someone, and they just won't let go of it. You can ask that aspect to step forward in a safe space, light a candle,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, while you're focusing on your 4 directions, because the 4 directions, you have 7 directions in a medicine wheel, but you also have them within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come to center and you ground, that's your sacred soul space in yourself that you can ask those aspects to come forward. You can say, thank you for carrying this burden. You no longer have to be frozen in that moment of
Mm-hmm.
pain or rejection or whatever it was. You welcome home to my heart. I am now 64.
Mm-hmm.
I will take care of you. And that's how we heal from the inside out. And that practice began way back in my 20s when I was menstruating, and I would
Mm-hmm.
give to Mother and make that connection. And that was a lot of the times when I was actually under attack for about a year.
Mm.
There was some bad medicine that was trying to attack me. So I learned a lot about defenses by going through experiences where, guess what, you get to learn about being protected now. And that will never go out of my practice. That's always a practice. But it can be in claiming your space when you learn that you're claiming all of your energy, all of it, because you're responsible for it. And so you call back your energy to yourself. And it's part of healing, but it also builds your shield. And your shield not only protects you, but it shows the universe who you are.
Right. Have you ever seen an octahedron?
Uh,
It's a
like
fluoride.
this?
Yeah,
Like
no,
this?
that's a Merkaba.
That's a Merkaba.
This is
Okay.
how this stone comes out of the ground. That's not carved.
Seriously?
Seriously, it's called a fluorite.
Wow.
And,
Okay.
and they're my favorite stones, and they have the directions. They have
Okay.
as above, so below, to the left to me, to the right to me, to the front, to the back.
Yep.
And when I read, I have a little cluster of tiny ones on my desk, on my reading table. And I asked the person to grab one when they finished. And they said, why? And I said, because it's like a little recorder. And in the center of this is what we discussed. And all you have to do is hold on to it and you can remember.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Fluorite octahedron.
Octahedron.
Okay.
Which y'all can go learn about if you want to go
Yeah,
see on my, I'm doing my crystal. I'm doing my crystal advent calendar. I'm doing it 2 ways. I'm doing it on YouTube, which is what I did last year, which I did with a lot of readers, which is a great deal of fun.
Yeah.
But then I'm also doing kind of a startup on Substack. I'm over on Substack, and it's at Nancy Jean's Garden. And I'm presenting these crystals and explaining how to use them and what they're good for.
Oh,
And it's really, and the thing's like 8 minutes a day. It truly is like like when you were a kid. Did you ever have Advent calendars when you were a child?
no.
Okay, it's not part of every Christian's background, but we did. And it's you open one a day. You open from the 1st of December till Christmas. You open up a window, and when I was a kid, it was traditionally you got chocolate,
Yeah, right.
candy, or something from it.
Yeah,
And they now have a lot of other boxes. So
yeah.
this shouldn't take you longer than what it took you to get through your candies when you were a kid.
Okay.
But you get to learn about all the different crystals.
Oh, I want to sign up for that. I
Well,
get those for my grandkids, but yeah, I want to learn that.
okay. And how can you tell the difference between what is your psychic impression and what's Annie Bear's imagination?
I spend a lot of time making sure about that because I doubt myself quite often. It's almost like a schedule. So I go out and talk to my tree. I go for walks every day, which really helps me to ground and it helps me to stay in communication with the natural world. And I
Mhm.
will just ponder things and ask creator, go to my tree. I know that sounds so, but that's what I do. Is this my imagination or is this a good message? And then wait to see. I will tell creator, I think part of this is my thinking, but imagination is it's not this throwaway thing. It's a bridge.
Mhm.
It's a bridge that we use. I paint, I write poetry, I write stories. All of that is part of imagination. And every time we cross that bridge and visit, so to speak, until we're not a visitor anymore.
Mhm.
And that's how we get in touch with our own, just to see how, because our energy is so much bigger that, like I always say, only a little bit of us fits in our bodies. And that's why we have clairs. And our
Mhm.
clairs help us connect with our larger spirit that we are. And that's what imagination does too. But anyway, I just ask creator.
Yeah,
And I hope that I'm listening well.
and the other thing you can tell is the reaction from the
Yeah.
person you're talking with or what you're talking about. Because if they look at you like, "What planet did you fall from?" You might know you're not in tune.
It's a good way to go.
Have there been moments when you've doubted yourself?
A million of them. A million of them.
How'd you push through that?
Usually I do yard work. I just do
Okay.
yard work. When I'm in doubt, I just start doing yard work. And I get my hands in the dirt and I calm myself down. And we're all works in progress. We're always going to want our gifts to be extended and to be more. And we'll get there. It just takes time. Some of us are late bloomers. Some of us are slow growers. Some of us, I think energy passes through us in some way to light up the world around us. And it's not going to give us things we can see in our hand.
Mhm.
You know,
Or
don't
even
know.
with our mind, even clearly with our mind's eye.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm definitely work in progress.
How did you handle skepticism from others?
Not well. I cried. I usually cry.
You don't believe me.
You don't believe in me. How can you not believe in me? So I'm very introverted. Believe it or not, but I'm very introverted. So it's an act of bravery to come out and say things and share things. And but I get over that by I don't want to go home to creator and say, well, I almost shared and I almost did stuff.
Right.
I'm not going to go home and say that. So that helps me get over my skepticism. What's the worst that can happen? I can look foolish. I've done that 1,000 times already, a million
Yeah.
times already. I'm used to that. Yeah,
That one I know.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
What have your abilities gone through strong and weak phases, like bodily? I know when I was pregnant, they stopped.
Yeah,
All I could do was have kids, and then
yeah.
they could come back.
Yes, me too. Menopause was a huge teacher for me. I'm 64 now, but I went through menopause. It started when I was 40, and it lasted about 10 years.
No, geez.
And it was a doozy. It was a real doozy. It was a lot of sweating. but I learned a lot from it because it taught me to maintain an equilibrium, which I had previously not been good at. So it really taught me, because anytime I got startled or saw someone handsome or got angry or anything, I'd have a hot flash. So it took me a while, but I figured out how to just maintain an equilibrium. So yeah.
Carrying your very own sweat lodge with you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And how do you protect your energy, Annie?
Um, Shields, very, very large shields. And call upon the I protect my energy by grounding first, always grounding first. And I have this something I'll share that I'll gladly share with you. I say 100% divine light in me,
Mm-hmm.
100% divine light around me to surround me, in all directions, in all dimensions, in all lifetimes, in all timelines, in all realms. 100% divine light through me, so I may share my gifts and inspire others. Because that's what this is all about. Being in this earth school,
Mm-hmm.
we're here to help each other. We're here
That's
to
right.
inspire each other. We're not here to compete.
Right. Okay. Now, do you think psychic abilities are innate, or can people develop them?
I think it's both. I think we all have the capability and we can all grow them, and we're all going to be different, because we're sort of like puzzle pieces. If I'm trying to comprehend this whole oneness thing,
Mm-hmm.
so I look at it like, what if we're all these gorgeously weird little puzzle pieces?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then we do come to systems such as this solar system, from stardust and earth dust, and we do these things like we're doing now, waking up a world, changing the paradigm of it, breaking patterns. I think my generation in particular is breaking patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're doing that on a global scale right now. So that makes it makes it so important that we each be our authentic selves.
Okay, if
Yeah.
this is happening, this one of the reasons I came up with this series was I had a lot of people starting to talk to me and saying, all of a sudden, I think I'm hearing and feeling some of the stuff you talk about hearing and feeling. What do I do with it?
Yeah.
I'm gifted. What do I might be gifted.
Yeah.
And it is a gift to have it. So I don't like it when people treat it with great fear.
Yeah.
But what would you say to someone who says, I've just noticed I might be gifted. Where should I go? What would be your first piece of advice for them?
Meditate on a medicine wheel, like draw a picture and don't be afraid and say, I saw something, put that in the east of the wheel. Make it, I see, I
Mm-hmm.
hear, do I taste, do I smell? And
Mm-hmm.
just make a note of it, because this lets your spirit team know that you're paying attention, you're good and
Mm-hmm.
grounded, you're accepting these gifts, and you're making a note of where your development is. And this invites them in to help you. And you can ask for an extra angel for absolutely anybody and anything. You can say, I would like an angel to help me understand this, please, thank you. But you have to say it out loud, because they can't intervene until you ask.
That's right. I think that's so hard for me to get people to, I don't understand. I said, if you really wanted someone to come over and help you that was part of the 3D world we lived in, you wouldn't expect them to just figure it out. You'd have to go
Well,
solicit them to
yeah,
participate.
you can do the same to spirit
Yeah.
all the time. I do this every day. Every day. This is part of my practice. Yeah.
Yep. I have two main guys. They only gave me two because I know I get easily confused. So I have Addie and Frank. And Frank just sort of goes. He just sort of protects me. And Addie is there to talk to me and nurture me on and push me forward. And but I have to remember to talk to him because I'll forget for a couple of days, or I'll get it full of myself and start running things like I know what I'm doing. And and all of a sudden I'll realize, oh, I'm kind of on the edge of the cliff. Anybody here to save me?
Yeah. I thank my medicines because I know that they're like, oh, she needs help again. Who will go help her today?
Oh no, I have a great picture of
Yeah.
she's like a woman dressed like a fairy, and she's in her 30s, and her halo's all askew, and her wand's almost broken, and her dress is all torn up, and she's like, this is my fairy godmother after a day with me, you know.
I love that. Oh, I love that.
Anyway, I'll send you that picture.
Please
It's
do.
hysterical.
Please do.
How has your work changed your worldview and beliefs on life and death?
Well, let's see. It's changed it quite a bit. In the beginning, I was very, very angry. I was very fierce. I'm a naturally fierce person.
Mm-hmm.
I was very angry, and I had a big chip on my shoulder. It's amazing I could see anything. And as the years have went by, I've realized we have a lot more in common than I ever imagined. We have so much more in common than we have differences. And we don't end. When this walk ends, when you're done with your body, you don't end.
No.
And we don't end. We're going to look back at this like, oh, I had my physical experience. Really? How'd you do? And,
Mm-hmm.
and so it makes it that much more precious. And I had two daughters that I lost.
Mm-hmm.
And one daughter died at 2 months, and
Ooh.
she never left the hospital. And the other daughter was born dead, and she was 38 weeks. That was at 38 weeks, so it was
Mm-hmm.
almost full term. And I held her for an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and all my children were born with hair. And
Oh, cool.
I have a son that's 40, and he's just the silver lining. And her name was Brianna. And
Mm-hmm.
I held her for an hour and a half. They let me do that. And I told her about all my dreams for her. And it was one of the saddest, loneliest, and most painful experiences of my life. But I also felt the most peace that I have ever felt, ever. I almost went with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had moments in my life that were like that had great pain, but great peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what I signed up to do this walk. I must have had some very big ideas, So now I'm 64, and what I feel most is gratitude, and a lot of gratitude. And I'm thankful for this community. I'm thankful for mentors like Terry Renner and Kelly at Cali Healer, who have nudged me in sisterly and loving ways, and Diana Bowles, and pushed me
Mm-hmm.
a little bit to get out there and share. And so I like to inspire others to do the same.
Yeah, and you think about it, if you hadn't, I know you say you're an introvert, and I can understand that because I have a child that's an introvert that's extremely skilled at what she does, but she
Yeah.
just doesn't like to deal with people. And that includes me at times, and I am the ultimate extrovert.
Okay.
When kids were little and they used to say the hardest thing for children to do, and for most parents, apparently public speaking terrifies everybody except me. I'm
Yep.
not the, you want speaker? Here I am. Um,
Okay, I'm going to
and
remember that.
and so I really appreciate, because I know how easy it is for me to slip into that role, how much it must take to get past that. Like, because like for me to stay home and say, I'm going to stay home tonight and do something on my own. I'm not going to turn on the TV or anything. I'm just going to be dealing with things on my own. That to me is a frightening prospect.
Oh, okay.
So there's a trade-off to this, but
Yeah.
you have to realize whether you're an extrovert like me or you're an introvert like Annie, you need to ask to work with other people, and they're going to help see, they're going to see the best in you. and help you see it and help you grow it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so neat because a lot of the weirdness is hiding your gift. There's a gift in there. There's a gift in there. And when I stopped drinking, here's something interesting. I used to, anyway, okay, let me get to the point. I discovered something. I think I discovered something. I think it was, I've always talked to my husband and said my addict self is always like, oh, I need cigarettes. But I stopped smoking. And then, oh, I need my vape. But then I stopped vaping. Oh, I've got to get more wine. But then I stopped drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found was Great Spirit was so clever and put the one who holds the gifts, gave that to the addict self and said, only you will know when she's done goofing around and when she's ready to actually be herself. And she's done numbing and she's done hiding and she's done blaming and she actually wants to heal and grow. Then I'm going to give that to you. When she's done doing all that, and that's no judgment on it, but when she's done,
yeah, I know.
Then you can take that in. So that's been the most remarkable thing that's happened lately, and I'm clutching this while I talk. Dalmatian Jasper.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
It helps one be playful. It helps one remember.
It does.
To not take everything so seriously. So this is my little friend today for this interview.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you found your way to where you need to find the light. I've always talked to a lot of friends of mine who are addicted, and I was married to 2 alcoholics, one of whom did something about it and one of whom didn't. I stayed with the one who did something about it. But it's really true. It's like there's a hole in their system, and they think, I'm going to smoke it out, I'm going to drink it out, I'm going to vape it out, I'm going to eat it out. I have friends that do that, and I've seen people do that, and you really have to realize at the end of the day, you're responsible for what goes in your mouth and what happens. And that's what they're running from. I mean, I always thought that's what the hole inside was.
I was numbing. And it was really, my husband saw me through it. I was numbing. Anytime I got my feelings hurt, anytime I, didn't wanted to say something, but didn't say something. Anytime I got angry, numbing, I was using it for numbing. So I watered it down for about, probably over 4 years. I started watering it down, because I knew that I would quit at some point. And, but then when I did, it was difficult at first. And I still have moments where I go outside and say, I have my own free will, do not drink alcohol anymore. I prefer my clairs and chakras functioning healthily.
All clear.
Yes. And my dreams remembered and my gifts remembered.
Well, back in my young days, when I was a wild child, in my 30s, in between marriages, I had a New Year's party and I had 3 different boyfriends. I was a cutie, guys. I mean, you may not see it now, but
wow.
And one delivered a case of sake, one delivered a case of scotch, and the other one sent over some really lovely bottles of red wine. And I was at home. It was New Year's. We're doing New Year's Eve, and I hit the bottles before I hit making the food, which is never a good way to do it. But I'm a great cook when I'm drunk. I mean, really. But anyway, I read at that party, and I told my mentor at the time, who was an astrologer who was training me for things, and she said, don't tell me you were reading when you were drinking. And I go, okay, I won't tell you. You don't want to hear it? I won't tell you. And she said, you should never do that, because the more you drink, the less of the power you have is there to control it. And you don't know who you're calling through to deal with people. And that cured me of drinking and reading.
Both or just one? Of doing that together?
No, I'll still have a drink occasionally. I've kind of been through that, and
yeah,
I'll just every once in a while say, oh, that well, my daughter brought home, she got out of a thing at her where she works, she ended up with a bottle of reserve whiskey, And she said, I don't drink whiskey. And I said, well, okay, you can leave it out. I'll have some occasionally, but that's how I have it. I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not crawling down the street looking for the Specs delivery guy. It's a thought, and I have done things like that at times. Okay. What is one of the more powerful readings you've ever done?
Well, I think this is akin to answering the question because I haven't done a lot of readings, but I was invited to go to Sedona,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to leave the Pacific Northwest. It did not feel like I should leave the Pacific Northwest, partly because I'm afraid of traveling far.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to stay put. And so I asked Creator, and I prayed really hard, and I asked if the energy of Sedona, because I've been there before, I've been there a couple
Mm-hmm.
of times, once with my mother, a couple times with my husband, and so I'm familiar with the area. And I asked if the energy could come to me, and what came out of it was a deck of oracle cards that I've made.
Oh, cool.
And they came, I did about over 70 paintings in 2 weeks. And so this whole oracle deck, all of these are watercolor paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what came out of it. So that was probably the most powerful thing that came through, because it just poured out.
If I wanted to get a hold of an Annie Bear Oracle deck, how do I do that?
If you go to my channel, in the About Me, there are links for the deck, for a 3-page printout that comes with it, and a video that I walk you through each card and tell you about what came to me as I was painting. Because some of the paintings, I would do them, turn them upside down, let that energy come through, and about halfway through the painting, I would know what it was. So some of the paintings I didn't know what it was until about halfway through, and I go, "Oh, okay, I get it. I get what that is now."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for asking.
No, I'm sure people are going, how do I get that? Okay. How do you deliver sensitive or complex messages? If you get a really sense that you're going to deal with something that's really complex or sensitive with someone, how do you deal with that and still tell them the truth?
I try to do that in a story form. There's a European way of speaking. The European way is to speak straight to someone's face.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we do it in native culture or in nature is you approach from the side.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, let me share with you a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this one time, and this is how I felt about it. And it turned out that what I needed to learn was this thing. And what I see happening with you at this time
Mm-hmm.
is I see that this is happening. You might want to take a look at that individual or at that situation with fresh eyes and make sure your boundaries are intact, for example. So I would try to say it softly and non-confrontationally.
I think my thing is somebody came up, this question came from the fact that someone walked up to me one day and said, what if you laid out your cards and you saw I was going to get hit by a bus?
Mm-hmm.
What's your responsibility for that? And I said, my responsibility for that is to tell you to look both ways before you cross the street, because I can't follow you around forever. You know, I have to look at the message you're getting and I have to give it to you in a way that's most functional for you.
Well, I've had dreams where my family trusts me. And I've had dreams where I've said, you need to stop, beware of bricks, beware of, do not sit in the passenger side of a vehicle for the next few weeks, because I've dreamed that I've seen fine glass. So beware.
Mm-hmm.
And my family has told me that happened 2 days ago. That happened, 2 days after you told me that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a dream like that, my family believes me. It doesn't happen very often, but thank goodness. But when it does, they believe me.
Well, you'd go crazy if you went to sleep every night and saw everything that was going to happen to everybody around you.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you.
What advice, Annie, would you give someone to starting to explore their gifts?
I would say develop a daily practice and keep it realistic. Um, ground every day. Ground every day by going outside and just saying aloud, um, I wish to ground my energies. I call on protection. I call on my guides and angels and
Mm-hmm.
ancestors. I know that you want to help me. And I will look for the clues. Sometimes it'll be pennies. Sometimes it'll be music. It'll be songs that pop in your head.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it'll be feathers. If you want it to be animals, ask that. Ask that. Say, give me a sign today that I can clearly recognize. I'd like to see the color pink. I'd like to see the color turquoise or blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then pay attention. And when it happens, say, oh, thank you so much.
I
Yes,
appreciate it.
yes,
I got the message. It didn't
yeah,
pass over
thank
my head.
you. I would like more messages, please. And keep that communication open by doing that.
You did say one thing in that statement. People are going to find pennies. They've discontinued the penny. So if you're going to
I
find
heard that.
pennies, go, yeah, they start, look for them quick, kids.
I've heard that. I have a penny counter as a piece of art in my backyard. The last time I heard that we weren't going to have pennies anymore, I made a countertop out of pennies.
Well, this time they're really doing
They
it.
really did it.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
it costs too much to make them for what they're worth. And I was talking to someone and they were just saying it's because everybody uses cash cards now.
True.
So,
True. Did our this current regime decide that?
well, they tore down a wing of the White House. What would make you think they're not going to take away pennies? I mean,
Exactly.
soup to nuts, these people are out of their minds.
Yeah, you can quote Nancy on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You talk about, I always, when you talk about what you're talking about, meditating or finding a daily practice, I think find something you can do.
Mhm.
And that goes to my next question, daily habits or exercise you recommend. Find something you can do because you could have the most incredible bicycle to ride in your house, but if you're not going to get on that sucker, it ain't going to do anything. You need to find the thing that, watch what different readers do.
I say
And,
spend like volunteer. I volunteered with wildlife. Happiest
mm-hmm,
time of my life. I was volunteering at the animal shelter, the zoo, and a wildlife hospital. And it made my life so happy. It's something where you're giving, where energy's moving through because you're showing the universe that I am appropriate with my energy and I allow energy to pass through me. I
mm-hmm.
interact with energy in respectful ways. And the more you can do that, the better. And if an introvert can do it, then anybody can do it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of things people ask you to volunteer for. Be upfront about what I used to run lots and lots of volunteer from everything from politics to film festivals to all kinds of stuff. I
Yeah.
run volunteers. Be
Yeah.
upfront with the volunteer director because my goal there was to find a place to make you happy, so I had one less place to fill.
Yeah.
And we know jobs that people would rather do on their own, and if they're happy doing it, that's right.
Yeah.
Go there.
Yeah.
How can someone find a trustworthy psychic community or mentor?
I have found a lot of good people here in the YouTube community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing good things about Substack. I think it's a way for you to learn to trust your intuition. Again, once you start working with spirit, say, I'm thinking about, I like this teacher here. Creator, I like this teacher here. And I'm willing to spend some time with this person. You can ask for signs about anything.
Mm-hmm.
About anything. And when you have realistic expectations and put a time frame on it, say, I'd like to learn about this for about 6 months. And just to
Mm-hmm.
see if that's where your gifts lie or if you need to keep exploring. Stay curious. And if the person who is you're talking with you isn't curious, run away from them. They need to be curious and stay curious.
Yeah, and you can tell if they're real or not. I used to work psychic fairs, and you you could tell among the readers among us who was there because they knew what the cards meant and who was there because they knew what the cards really meant. And also, I was talking about this with someone the other day. There was a person who used to cast chicken bones
Cool.
to tell your fortune.
Yeah.
And he was from the
Is
Caribbean.
he a gypsy?
No, he's
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Okay. Okay.
And, you know, everything he did was just as valid as what I did. And there was a guy I always used to sit next to him at psychic fairs because I loved him. He was a dear person. He read the Bible. He would tell you to pick between page number, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'd read that quadrant out of whatever page you read. And he was unerringly great.
Wow.
So there's hundreds of different ways. And I would never have known that if I hadn't taken the risk of going or working at a psychic fair.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. The exposure alone, just to see. The energy is available, however you make yourself available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're to the last question. Dun, da, da, da. So yeah, you're late, Leona. Go back to the beginning at the start because we're at 20. What's the biggest lesson you've learned on your psychic journey?
I think the Ho'oponopono prayer that the Hawaiian people so wisely and kindly teach with us, that prayer is, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. And that thank you seems weird sometimes, but you can always thank someone for a lesson, whether it was a good lesson or a bad one you enjoyed or one you didn't. But eventually, there's this book I recommend to everyone. It's called No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. You can apply that spiritually. There are no bad parts. I think the most important thing I've learned is there are no bad parts. We can sometimes have very bad experiences. We are often breaking patterns when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we are always healing and growing, and it affects 7 generations behind us and ahead of us. And you're never alone. When you realize that, when I realized that deeply, I think that meant the most to me.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of brought it together for me. I hope that answered the question.
No, it does. No,
Okay.
We're part of a great big whole thing.
Yes.
And the thing is, we all kind of see it from where we stand.
Yeah.
And I think too many people get feeling isolated because they don't ever reach out and say, I'm feeling isolated.
Yeah.
And I would hope that's what the whole theory behind my garden when I created it was, a place for people to come plant their spiritual seeds and see what grows.
Yeah. I love that. I love your garden. It's beautiful. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Well, and you've been one of the sunnier little flowers we found recently. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Thank you.
And as you know, I don't take questions out of the chat usually.
Thank you.
I realize in the times we live in, it's hard not to take things too seriously. But trust me, if you take things too seriously, you have to realize, there's a famous thing in the medieval novel about the reason that this monastery got in trouble is because they had an original document from the apostles, and it said that Jesus laughed, and it had to be gotten rid of because Jesus can't laugh.
That's nonsense. Well, I think the next big thing for us is going to be first contact. And I started feeling angels at the edges of my consciousness within this past year. And so I'm expecting, because when I was little, I used to cry and cry and cry to the stars and say, I want to come home. I want to come home. Mm-hmm. And I really meant it. I really meant it with all my heart. I was like 7. And so I think first contact is happening. But it's going to be through our awareness. And we're going to have to let a lot of fall away. A lot of the judgments need to fall away. before we'll be able to comprehend that. You know,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful place that we're in. It's a very remarkable time that we're living in. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so what else do you have on your schedule, Annie Bear? I know you do meditations some mornings with Terry.
Yeah. Yeah. I do meditations Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays on my channel to free up Terry's time because she's doing new things. And she's
Oh, I
teaching,
know.
and she's doing yoga, and she's doing all kinds of cool things in Kansas City. And right now I'm working on children's stories.
Oh,
I've got
good.
some children's stories. Yeah. So I'm working on that. Look forward to sharing that in the future.
Oh, good. Come back on my show when you get there and we can
Okay.
talk about that.
Okay.
Right now, it's the end of the year, so I am doing readings. I still have the sale on my, I had 20% off on my past life 3-month or 12-month readings.
Wow.
You go to my website, crystaldirections.com.
And you make grids.
And well, grids don't ever get discounted.
But you make grids for people.
Oh, I make grids.
Right, right. So Nancy makes grids.
And right now I'm up to my eyeballs with finishing a project I thought was done, which is the daily Advent crystals on Substack. So go over and visit me on Substack and see what it's like. It's very interesting. It's very easy to get into. I'm really intrigued with them. Not only that, but when I create a show on Substack, they pull shorts out for me.
Oh, nice. Now, is that Crystal Directions at Substack? Is that how we find
No,
you?
it's Nancy Jean's Garden.
Nancy Jean's Garden on Substack. Okay.
Yeah, Crystal
Thank you.
Directions is the part that does that's what I used to build grids before, but that's all where you can get the readings. And I'll be live with Scott tomorrow.
Okay. That's right.
10 in the morning, and it's the only time I talk politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I got yesterday? I got a picture, and it's the youngest Democratic candidate in the state of Texas. He's 18 years old. He's running for justice of the peace. He lives in the area I live in. That's how I found out about him.
Oh, okay.
And he went out, he spoke with my son, Sean, and Sean said, this is how you get your signatures. So they went door to door, he and his friends, because he's got all these college friends that need service hours. So they went and they were walking for him. He's the first one to have a completed set of signatures in on his.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody just bought something in my store. That ka-ching you heard was someone going.
Oh, is that what that? Well, it was perfect timing.
Yes. The rest of you, it works. I know it works.
Yeah.
And I'd like to, join me on my own channel for the Crystal Directions on YouTube or for the Crystal Advent Calendar. It's a completely different sort of calendar that I'm doing over on Substack because I'm doing it all by myself. And because I wasn't going to try to book in 25 readings. I did that last year. I know.
Yeah.
And then
busy lady.
And of course, we're going to keep watching because I'm going to be interviewing a couple people tomorrow for Psychic Profiles. And I've got some people in the next 2 Tuesdays at least coming in to do Psychic Profiles. And I have almost 35.
Oh my goodness. And how do you find time to like Christmas shop or eat meals?
I don't Christmas shop and I only eat 1 meal a day, which is true.
That's right.
But,
that's right. You told me that.
I'm really looking forward to helping people expand. I really want, one of the things I came out of after I almost died in June, I said, I said, I know I stayed around because I told you I wasn't going to die. And I'm just arrogant enough to think I can get away with that. But I said, what's going to happen now? I said, everything around you is going to change. And it's time for you to help other people understand what you see.
Wow. I look forward to this.
So that's what Psychic Profiles is about.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
And there's 100 roads from here to there, but we all need to get on a road and figure out where we're going.
Yep.
Anyway, I will talk to you later. I'm going to cut this off and the stream. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Saturday.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.